So thanks for coming. My name is Sierra Bush. I'm the founder of Creative Edge Travel. So I help people experience Italy's far-flung places and the fading traditions and the phenomenal nature through genuine connection with the local people. So I do these coffee chats once a week on Wednesdays at 2 p.m. Eastern time. So always check us out at that time and see what we're talking about. This week, we're talking about how to dine in Italy for under $10. And this is one of my favorite tips for budget travelers. Ciao, Giulio. Thanks for coming. Ciao, Reese. So again, I'm live on both Facebook and Instagram. So there's a learning curve here. So please forgive me for not being perfect. Okay, so drop me some comments, say hello. I love to see your faces and see who's actually tuning in so that I'm not just awkwardly talking to myself. Okay, so today we're talking about how to dine in Italy for under $10. So in Italy, there is something called aperitivo, and this is actually a very European concept. So it's the idea of having a dinner, having a drink kind of after work, before dinner. Usually you would stop on your way after work to meet a friend for a quick drink, a couple of bites. Or you have it, if you're having a big family dinner, you might start with an aperitivo when it's kind of early evening. It's not quite time to eat yet, but people are there and kind of hanging out. You have a drink, you have a few bites to open up the appetite. So that's the concept of the aperitivo. So as this aperitivo caught on in recent years, people started to add more and more. So it used to be just maybe a small bowl of olives and a little bit of potato chips, or maybe a piece of bread with simple tomato, and that was the aperitivo. But in recent years, they've kind of started to expand on this idea of the aperitivo. The word for dinner in Italian is cena, C-E-N-A, cena. And so they have created something based off the aperitivo, but with more food involved. So now instead of aperitivo, it's called apericena. So it's kind of a before dinner. So most people would use the apericena as a way to just have a small plate of food with a drink before dinner. They would eat it. Most Italians would treat an apericena also like an aperitivo without overeating. But if you're a budget traveler, the apericena is an excellent opportunity to actually fill up for, like, have a whole dinner, multiple courses, without paying the price for like a really nice dinner in a restaurant. So how it works is usually you'll pay between 8 to 10 euros. So that's about $8 or $9, $9.50 maybe. And you'll have a drink, and it will give you access to a whole buffet of options. So you can, when you're traveling, especially if you're going to the bigger cities, definitely look up the best place to have apericena in that city, because you'll find the places that really go above and beyond, and will have like a whole buffet. So different things that they might have of different side dishes would be pasta. I mean, this isn't just little snacks. You can just fill up on a whole plate of pasta if you want. So they'll have different types of pasta. I've seen bowls of like couscous with vegetables in it, caprese salad, pizza, little squares of pizza, little sandwiches, pan-fried zucchini, which is one of my favorites. They kind of fry it in the pan with olive oil and garlic and a little bit of mint. It's so delicious. You'll also find like grilled eggplant. Let's see what else. Bruschetta. So even beyond just the regular tomato bruschetta, they'll also have like, I wanted to say pepperoni bruschetta, but an Italian pepperoni would be actually the bell peppers. And mushroom bruschetta, all different kinds. They'll also have cheese, prosciutto and cold cuts, and focaccia. So a lot of different options, and they'll just have it laid out on the bar, and you should definitely try to time it right, because if you get there towards the end of apericena, then everything will be eaten already. So it's kind of first come, first serve. But if you time it right, you can get there when they're setting everything out and have your option to all this fresh, amazing food. You'll have your drink and you can just go back as many times as you want. There's no limits. So it's really an excellent way to not only stretch your budget and get the most out of the travel budget that you have, but also to soak up Italian culture, because you can, it's a great way to people watch. It's also a great way to meet people. So a lot of young people will go to Aperitina. So you can, you know, start chatting with someone while you're going through the buffet line or while you're waiting. There's usually a buzz, you know, like a nice atmosphere. So it's just a really nice piece of Italian culture to take advantage of. So if you've ever been to Italy and you've been to Aperitina, leave me a comment. I want to know what you thought, and if you had a favorite little Aperitina dish that you had. They're usually basically like little appetizers, but some go above and beyond. And along that same line, after my sip of coffee, along that same line, if you're trying to stretch your budget in Italy, you can also go to grocery stores. So in grocery stores, usually if you go to the back, you'll find a counter where they usually have like the meats and the cheeses, and sometimes a section of like pre-made meals. And I find that this is an excellent way to save money, because usually what they serve, of course in Italy, they're usually, and unless you're in a, I would say sometimes in Rome, they're just, you know, they have learned to capitalize on the tourists, but especially if you're in more of a mid-sized town or a smaller village, if you go to these groceries, then they have made these dishes high quality, of course, because they're expecting Italians to be eating it, and Italians expect quality for sure. So if you go to these grocery stores and you go to the back where there's this little counter, sometimes they'll have like a huge pan of pre-made pizza, and you can like cut how much you want, and they sell it by weight. Or they'll have lasagna, different kinds of baked pasta dishes. If you're a vegetarian or vegan, it's an excellent way to get your meals for a lower price, because they'll have a lot of side dishes. So I think a lot of Italians will stop by the grocery store sometimes and just buy those pre-made side dishes that are vegetables to go with their meal. So you can have like spinach and again, the grilled eggplant, the zucchini I mentioned, grilled peppers. They have all kinds of kind of staple side dishes in Italy that are vegetables. So everything in the grocery store will be delicious. It will be perfect for just eating it at home in your Airbnb if you've had a long day and or you have a beautiful terrace to take advantage of, or if you want to take it on a picnic. It's just one of my favorite tips, because people don't usually think of going to a grocery store to have good food in Italy. So yeah, that's my tip this week. I just wanted to do a really quick one this time, just because the Aperitina is such a fun way to save money. It's delicious and you're part of the culture. It's a great way to save money without feeling like you're missing out. I'm a huge, I wouldn't say I'm a foodie necessarily, because I don't obsess over food, but when I'm traveling, I have to eat really well. Like I want everything I eat to be amazing. So that can get me in trouble with my budget sometimes. So I always try to squeeze in some Aperitina instead of going for an expensive restaurant meal. And this way I don't have to miss out on the culture. It's still kind of like something I can look forward to throughout the day. And yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that tip. Tune back in next week and we will cover a new topic. If you have ideas for topics you'd like me to cover, just drop it in the comments. Always looking for interesting things to do, to talk about, to share with you. And if you like my Zoom background, if you're watching on Facebook, then you can see my Zoom background here. In the description, you'll find a link to 10 free Zoom backgrounds that you can easily upload to your Zoom account and use as these cool virtual backgrounds. They're all beautiful, off the beaten path places in Italy. They're all photographs that I've taken, and they make for a really fun meeting. Or if you're meeting with a big office and it's boring, you can have something beautiful to daydream about. Okay, so thanks for tuning in. I will say goodbye and get back to work. I'm working on a secret project that I can't wait to let you guys know about it. If you've been paying attention to my posts, you might have seen something about it, but hopefully before Thanksgiving, I will release it. So stay tuned for that, and have a great rest of your week. Ciao.